Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another Creepy Book Club video. Today we are talking about The Hatching by Ezekiel Boone. Really quick though, before I get into anything else, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for your support of my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. Alrighty, so today we are talking about The Hatching, which is written by Ezekiel Boone and follows various characters all over the world when a species of man-eating spiders is unleashed, awoken, whatever you want to call it, and starts to take over the world, essentially. The Hatching is book 1 in a 3-book series, I think. I'm just gonna, low-key check really quick. It does not say. It doesn't say, but I think it's 3 books. Yeah, I think Boone did an excellent job of giving an explanation for the spiders. Obviously, some stuff is withheld, like there's still some things about the spiders that you haven't found out yet. Obviously, because there are sequels, and I'm sure it's going to be revealed in the other books. But for a first book, I feel like a lot of information is given for the spiders. One of the characters, Melanie, is a scientist and she specializes in studying spiders. So we get a lot of information from her character as she's studying the spiders and kind of figuring out the way they operate, which makes the spiders even scarier. Not that it's difficult to make me afraid of spiders because there's logic behind their behavior, which you find out through her study. So I like the time put into that. Yeah, it's not just like we're just supposed to suspend our disbelief that these millions and millions of spiders are taking over and eating people, you know what I mean? I'm also really appreciative of the fact that there are no pictures in this book, so thank you, Mr. Boone, sir. I greatly appreciate that. I also liked the variety of characters in terms of their profession. So we have a politician who's working in the White House, the scientist that I mentioned, Melanie, an FBI agent, a Marine, and a survivalist, which is, he kind of serves as the civilian pretty much. So we get perspectives from all angles. This kind of leads into what I didn't like about The Hatching. So among those 5 main characters, there are what seems like endless minor characters that encounter the spiders in various ways. Some of these characters only last 1 chapter before they're overtaken by the spiders. And I think the point of these chapters is to kind of scare us. Like they're, kind of like scenes in a movie. It very much reads like a movie, like in between going to the different characters, we cut to a scene of somebody that just happens upon the spiders and is, killed by them and whatever. And I think these chapters are serving to scare us, and to kind of give the spiders more scenes, because frankly, if you were to take out some of those scenes, they wouldn't be in the book a whole lot, because it's more the main characters reacting to what's happening. But most of them don't really face the spiders firsthand in this first book. So it's probably to incorporate the spiders more into the story and to have some scary scenes in there. It just got repetitive after a while, and it just meant more time away from the main characters. I also wasn't a fan of the female characters, I have to say. I thought they were all the same. I did. Including some of the supporting cast, the President of the United States, Stephanie, one of her aides, a couple of minor characters, they also felt the same. They were the I'm gonna say what I want to say and do what I want to do, and because, I'm a strong, independent woman, and not only that, but I'm aware that I make men uncomfortable with my opinionated behavior and intelligence. Those type of characters. I know what that sounds like coming from me, of all people, that I dislike that in a female character. Not necessarily that I dislike that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that type of character. It was just, it felt like every female character was like that. It was kind of like the Ghostbusters remake, where you have 3 out of the 4 Ghostbusters who are exactly the same. So it's just like, I don't know, I just didn't like that they all felt the same. And to be quite honest, most of the men in this book act the same exact way. So it felt like every single character was the same, and the only thing that separated them was their name and their profession. Yeah, which actually a few members of my creepy book club have a kind of interesting, not interesting, they have a very cool explanation as to why that is, or why they think that is, which I think is interesting and leads me into their review of this book. So, I mean, this is what I love about having started a creepy book club, because I can really see, you know, like, you know, I'm, no offense to most of you guys watching, but I know a lot of you guys don't like to read as much as I do, or maybe you don't have the time to read, that sort of thing, which is completely fine. But the people in my book club read a lot and they like to read. So like, you know, I just like hearing their opinions on stuff. And that's like the whole point of the book club is, you know, so many people have differing opinions and it's nice to see. So they will pop in front of the screen. A lot of them, they wrote a lot, which is awesome. So I'm not gonna read their comments verbatim. You can pause the video to read them if you want, or you can head over to our group page on Goodreads, which is linked in the description, and check it out there if you want as well. So Vicky, with an IE, sorry that you spell your name wrong. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. She loved the book. She gave it a 5 out of 5. She was not bothered by the mini characters, and that just comes down to taste. You know, like some people enjoy slasher movies and some people don't. Some people like a whole lot of characters, some people don't. It's, you know. So she likes a lot of characters, which is awesome. And as she mentioned, which I didn't mention in my review, there's a lot of divorce issues in the book as well. And she said she knows a lot of people didn't like that either. I particularly didn't have a problem with that, but and she goes on to talk about how divorce is the norm these days. I don't know anything about the author, but maybe he kind of has experience in that arena, so maybe that's why it was in there a lot. But she says, in terms of like all the characters being the same, she says, so high stress jobs of government and politicians, they're usually that tough, take no shit mentality, and a lot of failed marriages, unfortunately. That's why I was fine with it. So I think that makes a lot of sense, what she said, since, you know, we have a politician, a scientist, a Marine, an FBI agent. It kind of makes sense that they have a similar mentality, because especially between like the Marine and the FBI agent and things like that, they have kind of similar jobs, or the people who excel in those type of occupations have similar personalities. So that makes sense, and I didn't even think about that when I was writing my review. So thank you, Vicky. Chrissy also really liked it. She gave it a 4 out of 5. She said she got used to the main characters after a while, but I like how she pointed out, and I didn't talk about this because the president is not, I wouldn't necessarily call her a main character, but one of the main characters, Manny, is like, I don't remember what his position is, but he's like an aide, or, you know, like her right-hand guy or something like that. So we get a lot of interactions with the President of the United States, Stephanie, via Manny. But she says, I was not a fan of the President character, as I agree with the things you said. It particularly annoyed me how often she would say, as President of the United States. We have read hundreds of pages, and yes, we are all aware that is what she is, without her and Manny and everyone else saying it multiple times per paragraph. I agree with that. There's a lot of times where Manny is saying it in his thoughts, you know, like, as President of the United States, she blah, 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 blah. And it's like, we get it. She's the president. And it almost kind of felt like Boone was trying to hammer home that, look, a female is President of the United States and she's tough and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we get it. We get it. Chrissy also says she has a collection of 8 tarantulas. Like, literally my heart just started going boom, 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 boom. So the spider aspect didn't bother her a lot, but the title of the second book, which is called Skitter, irks her a lot, and yes, that irks me too. Azul, he said he was excited because he had this book sitting in his wish list on Amazon forever, and glad he was finally able to order it and read it. Said he liked the writing style, it was crisp and easy to follow, and the action parts weren't a mess. I agree with that. It kind of reads very cinematically. I feel like this, I think this would make a really good movie. I would be fucking terrified to watch it, but I think it would make a really good movie. Goes on to talk about how some of the chapters are of varying length, which is true. There are even some chapters that are like 2 pages long or something like that, which are kind of like the introduction to these other characters that don't make it to the end of the chapter because they encounter the spiders or something. But it varies the pace a lot, and that's interesting, I agree. Then he goes on to talk about some of the lore of the spiders, which I did not mention. Like, they come from the Nazca lines in Peru. That's where they find the first egg sac. Not really the first one, but if you read the book, you know. And it kind of adds, Azul says it adds to the lore, which I agree with. Probably found it was an okay creature feature book, and as the beginning of a series, I'll give it a 3 out of 5 for now, is what Azul says. Thank you to the Creepy Book Club members who replied, and like I said, you can go back and pause and read their full reviews, or you can head to the page, our group page on Goodreads, which is linked in the description if you want to read them there. So I'm gonna give The Hatching a 2 out of 5 as a personal score. Now, we have a 5 out of 5, a 4 out of 5, a 3 out of 5, and a 2 out of 5 that I saw on our group page. So I averaged those scores, which gives it an average for our club as a 2.8 out of 5, which on our Goodreads page, on our club page, when I put in the rating for the book, I'm averaging the club members' scores, and that's the rating that we're giving it, because it's all of ours, not just mine. So on Goodreads, the main rating that everybody who has ever read it on Goodreads has given it is a 3.67 out of 5. On Amazon it has a 3.8 out of 5, and on Barnes & Noble it has a 3 out of 5. So if you've read The Hatching, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. Our next book is the very seasonally appropriate Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. Bradbury is one of my favorite authors of all time. I think he captures the October autumnal Halloween spirit so well. He's one of my favorite authors. I love it. Oh, sorry, you can kind of see my bookmark. I did start reading it a little bit. I'm not very far in, but there we go. So, you know, if you want to pick it up, you know, order it, check it out, and read along with us, you can. You can always join the book club over on Goodreads. Like I said, this is like the 3rd time now I've said it, sorry, the link is in the description. And if you head to my blog, which is also linked in the description, you can see and purchase our book club books for the rest of the year. We decided our books through the end of 2018, so we have October, November, and December all decided. And on that Creepy Book Club page, those are all Amazon affiliate links for the book, so you can purchase the book via Amazon if you want using those links. It works just like the movie review links, they're affiliate links, so there's no pressure to use them, but if you do use them, I get a small kickback from it, so it does help out the channel a little bit. But like I said, no pressure, but it's there. Or if you just want to go and see what else we're reading, you know, if maybe you can't join in for October, but you want to join in for November, then you can get a jump on it, and you already know what book you need to get a hold of for November and December. Yeah, so links for all that is in the description. Yeah. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday, and you can ring that notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye!